Hello, you're watching the best of the Vanarama National League here on BT Sport. What is it now? 6 weeks until the end of the season. Plenty of drama to come for sure between now and then, with the league leaders Leyton Orient contesting an FA Trophy semi-final with Telford. It allowed Solihull Moors a chance to go level on points at the top. Tim Flower's men had lost only one of their previous 8 and hosted bottom club Braintree Town, who on Tuesday ended a run of 5 straight defeats, beating Sutton United 3-0. Scoring for the first time in that match for Danny Searle's side was Corey Henry, and despite one of the referee's assistants flagging for a Solihull foul, advantage played meant Henry was able to round Ryan Boots and kick-start the clash in the Midlands. The goal certainly got Moors going, a team that ended last season in the National League 18th. A shot on the turn approaching the half-hour mark from Nathan Blissett was deflected narrowly wide. Next came encouraging work down the right from the home team's fullback Lee Vaughan, crossing for Danny Wright, who headed against the bar. And with minutes to go before half-time, Darren Carter sent in a free kick for the hosts, which was headed in by Liam Daly, who started all of Solihull's 38 matches this season, 1-1. A match now of one-way traffic continued on the other side of the interval, and going close again was Carter. Braintree were keen to avoid suffering their 25th loss of the campaign in the 5th tier, and after failing to clear their lines in defence, were thankful again to the woodwork, this time preventing a goal for Alex Gudger. Then into the last quarter of an hour, sub for Solihull Adi Youssef raced into the Braintree box, beating Ben Killip to the ball, winning a huge penalty. And Youssef took it, calmly netting to become Moors' top scorer. All 3 points for Flowers & Co. puts them level at the summit with Leyton Orient.
Promotion-chasing Wrexham have the best home record in the division, but a slip-up on Tuesday night against Barrow meant they'd lost 2 games in a row. Maidstone, who'd conceded 12 times in the previous 4 away games, were the latest visitors to the racecourse. In fact, John Still's side haven't scored a league goal on the road since January, but Blair Turgott came close to breaking the deadlock. The striker racing clear on the counter-attack, keeper Rob Langton saving with his feet. The Dragons almost gift-wrapped an opener for John Still's men 2 minutes later, when James Jennings misplaced a pass across his own goal. The home crowd breathing a sigh of relief when Justin Anelzor poked it wide. The first half finished goalless after Wrexham missed a golden opportunity of their own. Chris Holroyd's efforts saved by Chris Lewington, a rebound off Will de Havilland rolling inches past the target. There wasn't too long to wait after the break for what turned out to be the winning goal. Paul Rutherford providing the precise pass to winger Ben Tollett, who signed off his loan spell from Tranmere with his 4th goal for the club. The win sees Wrexham on 72 points, their best return in 6 seasons. A win against Hartlepool next week could see them go top of the table.
With 1 win in their last 18 games, Aldershot's season has been looking perilous for a while. The last home win came on the 3rd of November against bottom side Braintree Town. Manager Gary Waddock won this division back in 2008. Since his return, he's led them to successive promotion playoff finishes. Keeping the shot shy of relegation, though, may even outshine his past success. With confidence low from 4 straight defeats, Waddock's side welcomed promotion chasers Salford City to the recreation ground. Graham Alexander's team were back in the groove after 3 wins on the spin without conceding a goal, and they would have taken the lead, but for a spectacular clearance from George Elakobi, somehow managing an overhead kick to steer away Ibu Tsure's deflected cross. The shot's defence had keeper Jake Cole's bravery to thank as the score remained 0-0. That defensive solidity was being tested though, and Liam Hogan really should have buried this header after beating his marker at the back post. Aldershot clearly have a number of problems, but goal scoring is a massive issue. Just 29 all season, and even when presented with an opportunity after the Ammies broke the golden rule of playing to the referee's whistle, they still couldn't find the net. Jacob Berkeley-Ajipong spurning the chance, although Salford keeper Chris Neal gets plenty of credit for bailing his defenders out. And it was an important save as Salford eventually took the lead at the end of the first half. Toure involved again as his 1-2 and cross caused all sorts of problems. Devonte Redmond seized his chance and Alexander's half-time team talk was made just a little easier. Aldershot finished the match with 10 men after Adam McDonnell was sent off in the 89th minute. His challenge a sign of the frustration the whole team no doubt feel. The Salford's chance of cheerio had a double meaning as Gary Waddock's men need a miracle to beat the drop.
The boys are downbeaten there, and rightfully so, because obviously the week we've put in, the effort we've put in, and obviously the performance we've put in as well. We've come away with nothing to show for it, and I don't know what our results have been this week, today, but it's another game chalked off. So we've got a massive game next week, and they're all massive now. We're literally 3 points every week. Otherwise, there's only going to be one outcome.
Delighted with all the boys, and I think great following today. They've really done the miles this year for us. They're supporting us all over the country, and I'm so glad that the boys have sent them home happy again.
Exciting to watch Harrogate Town with the National League's top scorers, and facing Maidenhead United sought to make it 5 in a row without defeat. To be perfectly honest, in a wet and windy Yorkshire, not a great deal happened in the first half. There was a half chance for the hosts Jack Emmett, who failed to keep his shot down. It got better after the interval, particularly for Simon Weaver's team, getting on the end of a George Thompson cross to make it 1-0. Mark Beck, who now has 10 for the season. In response, Maidenhead must have thought they'd levelled through Ryan Upward, but his upward header was kept out superbly by James Belshaw, ensuring Harrogate have won 3 in succession, which is their best run since September.
Barrow may have been boosted by their away win at Wrexham in midweek, but they made the 300-mile trip to Eastleigh without 7 first-team players. A real test lay in wait for Ian Everett's side against the informed Spitfires, who'd lost just 1 of their last 8 games. Blustery conditions may have wreaked havoc, but it was a long ball forward which caught out the Eastleigh back line. Jack Hindle rounding keeper Luke Southwood and finishing coolly to score his 10th goal of the season and his first since Boxing Day. Into the second half, and Hindle had the chance to double his account with the whole Eastleigh half to run into. This time, Southwood was able to clear the danger. The hosts hadn't registered a single shot on target, prompting the Eastleigh keeper to race forward for the last attack of the game, but they failed to make anything of the opportunity. Barrow celebrate 3 wins in a row for the first time this season. A disappointing result for Eastleigh, summed up by boos from the crowd.
Second half we probably just didn't do enough we didn't really test their goalie. I think he's pulled off probably 1 save, something like that. But apart from Luke coming out and clearing the ball, I don't remember Luke having a great deal to do either really in the game. So it was it was a tough game really, and a horrible game probably to watch and to manage.
7 games without a win, 5 hours of football without a goal, and Sutton's playoff hopes have been thrown into disarray. Paul Doswell's side were on their worst run of the season. They hosted Gateshead, a place above the Surrey part-timers, so it was all to play for as 2 sides were desperate to get back to winning ways. A playoff place is still in sight for both of these teams, but they will need to find a run of form if they're to make the cut. It was the visitors Gateshead who started the brighter as they looked to put off-field issues to one side. It must be a relief for Ben Clark's men to take to the field and let the football do the talking and forget about the club being up for sale. Tom White's effort from the edge of the box had Ross Warner beaten, but the Sutton keeper was saved by the frame of his goal. That was a sign of things to come as the Heat continued to push. Connor Thompson setting up Greg Ollie for the opener just before the break. The midfielder's eye-catching displays have seen him called up to the England C squad for Tuesday's game against Wales, immediately after the interval, and he made it 2-0, finishing off a great move down the right-hand side as Gateshead carved through the Sutton defence and Ollie's shot from distance found the corner. Now on a hat-trick, the 23-year-old had one hand on the match ball. When Thompson played him in again, the offside trap was well and truly sprung, but a heavy touch left Ollie with too much to do, and Warner was left to berate his defence rather than pick the ball out of the net for the third time. That scare seemed to spark some life back into the home team, who eventually got into their stride on 51 minutes. James Dobson with a cross, and on his first start for Sutton, Dylan Kearney headed in. Game on. 10 minutes later, and a chance to level things up. Rory Deacon's shot cannoned off the arm of Scott Barrow. The majority of the 1,700-strong crowd called for a penalty. Referee Richard Hume agreed. James Dobson buried the spot kick, and all of Gateshead's hard work was undone. The speed with which he collected the ball suggested Dobson very much felt that this was a match to be won. He wasn't wrong. It took until the final few minutes to secure the points. Dobson's corner found Dean Beckwith, and he headed in his first of the season. His second wasn't far behind. This time Harry Buterman with a delivery, same result, and only one way to describe this match.
Football's such a mad game, and I think we scored 4 goals in something like 25 minutes, didn't we? And we had scored 4 goals in the last 6 games, and that's what makes this great game so good.
We've conceded a goal, and we didn't really react very well after that. And listen, the lads saying that the penalty decision was, listen, sometimes you get them, you don't. I haven't seen it again, but I've got no complaints of results. I think Sutton with a better side second half and deserved to win the game.
Boreham Wood had been really struggling, winning just 1 in 11. Ebbsfleet United, on the other hand, still have a slim chance of making this season's playoffs. Gary Hill's hosts were up and running quickly in Kent. A bouncing Ngozi Ugwu volley came off the post, but following up was Jack King with a second of the campaign. Still inside the opening 10 minutes, Wood responded immediately from a corner. Kieran Murtagh headed past Nathan Ashmore, 1-1. Then back at the other end with a Fleet corner this time, Malta international Sam Magri scored a goal for the first time since August 2016. It could have been 3 for Ebbsfleet before the break. After spot-on control and a fierce shot, Ugwu was denied by the crossbar. Not long after the restart came another test for Wood and their keeper Ryan Huddart. Aerial failure on his part was seized upon by Chris Bush, who moves on to 4 goals for the season. With Fleet closing in on a first league victory in 6 matches against Boreham Wood, Michael Cheek should have done better at the far post. The afternoon for Luke Garrard's team was summed up past the hour mark as Mark Ricketts, once of Ebbsfleet, received a second yellow card for bringing down Laurie Wilson. Playing with 10 required Wood to be a bit more direct, and with minutes remaining, Bradley Ash was able to make the most of a mix-up at the back for the hosts, scoring a 4th for him of the campaign. But Fleet finally get that win over their rivals from Hertfordshire and are only 6 points off the playoffs.
Havant and Waterlooville went into the weekend just 2 points from safety and 5 behind their opponents Chesterfield, who were Saturday's visitors to Westley Park. A couple of early chances could have seen the Spirerites take the lead. Scott Bowden with both the opportunities. The second should have been a straightforward tap-in from 2 yards out. It cost them moments later when the hosts went ahead inside the opening 10 minutes. But was it a fluke or quite simply a fine goal from Chris Paul? Either way, the former Tottenham junior will certainly remember his first career league goal. Some good defending from Havant kept Chesterfield at bay for the first half after 2 attempts from Curtis Weston. His second, a rather tame shot on goal. Dudzinski keeping the ball in play, but the follow-up from Ellis Chapman did nothing to trouble the Hawks keeper. It took the Spirerites 45 minutes to respond. Will Evans, who scored an own goal at Bromley on Tuesday, was back on the score sheet, this time heading in a free kick for the equaliser. Both keepers played their part in the score being level going into stoppage time. Shuan Jalal producing a fine save to Alfie Rutherford's headed shot, whilst Dudzinski kept Bowden at bay once again, tipping his effort past the post. With the game heading for a draw, Chesterfield were handed a lifeline when Dan Strugnall was adjudged to have tripped Jerome Bingham-Williams on the edge of the box. penalty to the visitors. Bowden stepped up to the spot and finally got his goal, his 6th in 9 games to steal all 3 points in injury time. Heartbreak for Havant, but victory for John Sheridan, who sees them jump 2 places up the table.
I'm proud of the players. I thought they all stuck together, worked very hard for each other, and that's what you need in a relegation scrap. And we'll continue to do so. But I do feel let down by the officiating today, if I'm being honest. I think the penalty he gave, my player Dan Strugnall says he got the ball, and he knows I'm going to look at the DVD. And we should have a penalty on Matt Patterson at the other end. You know, it's really frustrating, but I controlled my lads today, and they've done what they can do, and they showed a lot of determination and grit today.
It was only 4 months ago Dover Athletic were rooted to the bottom of the table. But since Andy Hessenthal has returned to Kent, the transformation has been impressive. Before Saturday, the Whites sat 2 points clear of the bottom 4, having taken 7 points from the last 15 available. They hosted a revitalised Halifax Town. Jamie Fullerton has his side grinding out the results, tough to beat, even tougher to score against. The Shaman had conceded just 2 goals in their previous 10 matches. Dover's job then to break down that stubborn defence. Skipper Mitch Brundle led by example, his free kick beaten away before Stuart Lewis's volley was gathered up by Sam Johnson. His opposite number, Lee Worgan, was also in the thick of the action, getting down well to tip Salford loanee Devante Rodney's shot around the post. The opening goal was tinged with controversy, and it was Dover who took the lead. Ignoring claims of a handball in the build-up, Alfie Pavey continued his fine run of form in front of goal. That's 3 in his last 4. Into the second half, and the visitors looked for a way back. Matty Costello on a one-man mission to secure the equaliser. The Whites keeper Worgan was up to the task once again. With Storm Hannah battering the UK on Saturday, the Wind ended up with more assists than any player. Anthony Jeffrey's goal, a case in point, his cross-come shot baffling Johnson in the Town net. The keeper then used those gusts to his own advantage to pull one back. Route 1 stuff and an easy header for Costello. That was his first goal since the sides last met back in November. Late on, Manny Duku had the chance to make it 2-2. He slipped up and the chance went wide. A run of 6 games unbeaten comes to an end, leaving Fullerton frustrated with the referee.
The first goal, the players are adamant. You know, there's 2 incidents in it which led to the goal. They challenged the referee on the fact that they were adamant it was a handball. That said, obviously went in 1-0 down with the wind against us. As we came out, for both goals in the second half, the Wind was, you know, on the assist chart, gets 2 of them.
To the Hive, where Barnet were after their first win in 4 games after drawing against Halifax in midweek. They were up against Hartlepool, who'd been on the wrong end of a 6-goal thriller at Fylde on the same night. Barnet striker Shaq Culthurst found space on the edge of the area to fire the first attempt, but was denied by the upright. At the other end, Fraser Kerr tried his luck with a wonderful 30-yard strike. Mark Cousins with a crucial fingertip save. Hartlepool were beaten at home by Barnet back in November, but they weren't able to punish them. Luke Molyneux showing he was undeterred by the sea of orange in front of him, but Cousins equally determined to keep a clean sheet. Craig Hignet's side should have scored though when Wesley Fonguk headed the ball back across to Colthurst, who put it wide with the goal at his mercy. Barnet hadn't had a 0-0 draw at home since October 2017, but it was heading that way as another chance, this time for Dave Tarpey, was kept out. The game finished with a late penalty claim from Barnet substitute Simeon Akinola, but it was waved away by referee Carl Brook, who instead put him in the book. Another draw means the Bees have now won 1 of their last 11 games.
So with the bottom 4 sides all failing to win at the weekend, Barnet will be somewhat relieved, and this is despite Darren Curry's side still having 4 games in hand on those around them in the 5th tier, but obviously points matter most. Dover move up a place to aid their survival hopes, and Chesterfield leapfrog Maidenhead and Boreham Wood after a much-needed win against Havant and Waterlooville. We should mention that Leyton Orient won the first leg of their FA Trophy semi-final 1-0 against Telford. The O's remain top of the league too as Solihull maintain the pressure. Tim Flower's side are level on points. AFC Fylde in the trophy were held at home 0-0 by Stockport County of the 6th tier, and given Dave Challoner's men didn't play in the National League over the weekend, they drop one place to 5th. This follows Salford's win against Aldershot. There's a difference of only 9 points between 7th and 1st, with a matter of weeks to go before the end of the season and, of course, the start of the playoffs. To National League North and South now with Chris.
In the Vanarama National League North, a chance for Chorley to strengthen their grip on top spot with second place Stockport in FA Trophy action. Boston United played host to the league leaders and managed to hold on for more than half an hour before an incisive ball from Matt Challoner found Marcus Carver. The Magpie striker finished well from the angle. Carver was involved again on the stroke of half-time, bundled over by Ben Middleton to win Chorley a penalty. Crucially, Middleton was booked for dissent after questioning the decision. Adam Blakeman took the spot kick, but George Willis pulled off a great save to keep the score at 1-0. Then there was all sorts of nonsense. Middleton and Alex Newby got involved in the sort of scrum that wouldn't have looked out of place in Saturday's Six Nations deciders. Referee Aaron Bannister was having none of it. Newby got a straight red for his part, and a second yellow was eventually shown to Middleton, and the pair trudged off for an early bath. With numerical parity restored, Chorley's class eventually shone through when Alex's twin brother Elliot made it 2-0 12 minutes from time. The Pilgrims almost pulled one back in spectacular style through debutant George Smith's long-range effort, but it's another 3 points for Chorley, and over to you, Stockport. Only 3 other games made it to the full 90 minutes as bad weather disrupted the National League North, but it's far from over, despite Chorley stretching their lead at the top of the table. Spennymoor will hope to get back to winning ways next Saturday after 3 games without victory. Brackley will look to continue their impressive form and consolidate a place in the top 7. Only 1 defeat in their last 12 games with 9 wins has manager Kevin Wilkin striving for promotion. Only one side tasted victory this weekend in the south, Torquay United with back-to-back victories after a surprise defeat to bottom club Weston 2 weeks ago. Gary Johnson's men have a game in hand on leaders Woking, who battled to a 3-all draw with 4th placed Welling United. Chelmsford have the chance to end their run of 4 straight draws with a trip to 18th place Truro City, with Concord, Wealdstone and St Albans still battling for a playoff spot.
There is live National League action on the way on BT Sport. Before that, though, England take on Germany in an under-21 international. See A.D. Boothroyd's men on Tuesday from 7:15. We're live on BT Sport 1 and 4K UHD. Then on Saturday, see if the outsiders Sutton United can maintain their playoff push. Paul Doswell's men are away to Chesterfield, who are still only 8 points clear of the drop zone. Coverage with Matt Smith and the team starts at 12:15, BT Sport 2 and 4K UHD. That is it from us this week. Next time we'll see if Solihull can take advantage again of Leyton Orient's continued FA Trophy campaign, reclaiming top spot, and Wrexham will be continuing to try and challenge too. Thanks for watching.